Picture yourself sitting at your kitchen table this morning, maybe with the newspaper or your phone in hand, and just take a quiet moment to notice how your legs feel under the table right now. Do they feel rested and ready, or is there already a hint of that familiar tiredness creeping in, a little weight in your thighs, or even a slight tremble when you shift your weight? If you're past 60 and you've been wondering why your legs don't carry you the way they used to, why getting up from a chair sometimes feels like more effort than it should, or why you catch yourself holding the wall when you walk down the hallway, then what I'm going to tell you could be the missing piece you've been looking for. This has almost nothing to do with trying harder at exercise, pushing through low motivation, or chalking it up to the years adding up. The real reason might be hiding in plain sight, right there in the fruit bowl on your counter or in the fridge drawer. And for more than 20 years, I've made it my life's work to help older adults keep their strength, move around comfortably, and hold on to their independence. I've sat with hundreds of people just like you, listened to their stories, measured their muscle power, watched how they balance and walk, and looked closely at what they eat every day. Over and over I hear the same thing happening. People who used to be so full of life, maybe they danced at family weddings, hiked with friends, chased after kids or grandkids, or simply managed their homes without a second thought, start noticing their legs weakening. They feel unsteady when they stand too long at the sink. They worry about tripping on a loose rug. They hesitate before stepping off a curb. And when I ask what they've been eating, they almost always smile and say something like, "I eat fruit every day, doctor. I try to stay healthy." That one proud statement is usually where the real explanation begins. The fruit we pick up at the grocery store or the market today is very different from what your mom or dad used to bring home. Back then, fruits were smaller, often less sweet, and grown more for nutrition than for that instant burst of sugary flavor. Now, growers have made them bigger, juicier, and much sweeter because that's what sells. But after we turn 60, our bodies don't deal with all that extra sugar the same way. Our muscles start responding more intensely to insulin, the hormone that controls blood sugar. Our nerves, which send the messages that tell our legs to move smoothly and strongly, take longer to calm down and recover after any strain. And when blood sugar goes up or down, those changes feel bigger and hang around longer, putting more stress on everything. The wonderful part is that understanding this puts the control back in your hands. You don't have to be afraid of this information. You can use it to feel better. Over the next 20 minutes or so, as we talk together, I'm going to point out the 7 fruits that most often quietly steal strength from older adults' legs, explain in simple terms why they do that, and show you a clear, practical plan to keep fruit in your life while actually helping your muscles and balance instead of harming them. Before we get deeper into it, I'd really like it if you could take a second to type a comment with your age and your favorite fruit. It's a small thing, but it keeps your mind tuned in and helps you think about your own body as we go along. Once you see how fruit can affect insulin, nerve signals, and the power in your legs, you'll know exactly which ones to cut back on, how to change the way you eat them, and what little shifts can bring back more strength and steadiness in just a few weeks. Let me walk you through what's really going on inside after 60 in a way that's easy to picture. Think of the muscles in your legs, especially the big ones in your thighs and around your hips, as sponges that are meant to soak up energy from the food you eat. When you were in your 30s or 40s, you ate an apple or a banana. The sugar went into your blood, insulin came quickly to help move it, and your muscles absorbed it fast and efficiently so they stayed strong for the next activity. It all happened smoothly. But as we get into our 60s and older, those sponges start to stiffen up a bit. They don't soak as well anymore. Insulin doesn't leave the bloodstream as fast. It lingers there. And because of that, the muscles miss out on getting the energy they need in the right way. The thigh muscles and hip muscles are extra sensitive to insulin. When insulin stays high too long after a meal, the body thinks it should store the energy instead of using it to fix and keep the muscle tissue healthy. Over months and years, this speeds up sarcopenia, the slow loss of muscle that makes it harder to stand up easily, climb a few stairs without puffing, or keep your balance when you're carrying groceries or turning quickly. Researchers at the University of California followed 480 adults for 10 years straight. They checked muscle size and strength regularly and looked at how blood sugar behaved after meals. The people who had frequent big jumps in blood sugar after eating lost thigh muscle 27% faster than those whose blood sugar stayed steadier. You might feel a little doubtful right now, because fruit has always been sold as one of the healthiest foods. You've probably eaten it your whole life thinking you were doing your body a favor. But even natural sugar from fruit can slowly get in the way of muscle repair when it comes in big, fast doses, especially as we age and our systems become less flexible. If you've ever eaten something sweet like fruit, and then a little while later your legs felt extra heavy, tired, or weak, like they just didn't want to cooperate, type the word tired in the comments so I know you're relating to this. What makes this extra confusing is that many fruits are full of potassium, which we all need. Bananas are probably the most famous for it, but pineapple, mango, cantaloupe, and oranges have plenty too. Potassium helps your nerves work right, so they can send clear signals to your muscles to move and relax properly. But when you get a lot of it every day from fruit, without balancing it with other things in your diet, it can upset the fine electrical balance nerves depend on. Imagine your nerves as thin wires carrying electricity all over your body. If the balance gets off because there's too much potassium, the signals to your leg muscles arrive slowly, weakly, or sometimes not quite right. A lot of people over 60 who eat high potassium fruit regularly start noticing their legs feel heavy by the afternoon. They get more cramps, maybe in their calves at night or when they're sitting for a while, or parts of their legs feel numb or dead, even though their doctor says circulation is good. A 2019 study in the Journal of Geriatric Medicine looked at adults over 65 and found that those getting lots of potassium, mainly from daily fruit, reported leg cramps about 18% more often than people who kept their potassium more moderate. So something that feels perfectly fine and good for you when you're 30 or 40 can start quietly working against your legs by 70. Next comes something called glycemic load, which is just a way of saying how fast and how high a food pushes your blood sugar up. Fruits like grapes, mangoes, and watermelon taste light and refreshing, but they send sugar into your blood very quickly. Even a small handful of grapes can make your blood sugar climb faster than many desserts. That fast rise causes some inflammation in the body, makes it tougher for muscles to fix the small daily wear from walking or standing, and slows how quickly nerves recover. When this keeps happening month after month, you lose strength in the hips and the quadriceps muscles in the front of your thighs, the ones that help you stay balanced, push off when you walk, or steady yourself when you turn. Harvard researchers followed 600 adults for 5 years, keeping records of what fruits they ate and testing their leg strength several times. They saw that people who ate a lot of these fast sugar fruits had about a 15% drop in leg strength, and that happened even when they kept exercising the same amount. The biggest mistake many make is eating fruit by itself, first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, or blending big amounts into smoothies. Both let the sugar hit even harder and faster because nothing else slows it down. Fiber matters a lot here too. When you eat whole fruit with its natural fiber, that fiber acts like a gentle brake, slowing down how fast the sugar gets into your blood, so your muscles get a nice, even supply of energy they can use without trouble. But so many ways we eat fruit now take away most of that fiber. Juice has almost none left after it's pressed. Dried fruits like raisins or apricots pack the sugar tight and cut the fiber way down per bite. Smoothies chop the fiber into tiny bits so it doesn't slow things the same way chewing does. It's like trying to fill a dry sponge by blasting it with a garden hose instead of dripping water slowly. The sponge gets swamped and can't take it in right, and a lot just spills over. When your muscles get hit with that kind of sugar rush, insulin jumps high, muscle repair gets paused, and fatigue builds up in your legs, often showing as that heavy, worn-out feeling later in the day. A 2021 study in Europe followed 320 older adults and compared how their bodies handled fruit with good fiber to fruit with less or none. The low-fiber group had insulin spikes 40% bigger after meals, and after 3 months, their quadriceps strength had gone down noticeably. That's why being careful about how much fiber you keep when you eat the fruit and what you eat it with is so important. Most everyday nutrition tips don't explain these practical details. Then there's anabolic resistance, which becomes more obvious after 60. It means your muscles don't respond as well to the protein you eat. They have a harder time using it to rebuild and stay strong. You might be eating good protein like eggs, chicken, or yogurt, but if sugar spikes are happening often, those spikes get in the way of the protein doing its job. Think of it like trying to plant flowers in good soil, but someone poured concrete over the top first. The flowers sit there, but can't sink roots or grow because the ground is blocked. The protein is what your muscles need to thrive, and frequent sugar surges from fruit harden things up. Boston University researchers studied this and found that older adults with regular blood sugar spikes after meals had muscle protein synthesis, the building of new muscle, 32% slower than people who kept their insulin steadier. When you add it all up, the extra sugar in modern fruit, too much potassium in popular kinds, less fiber from how we prepare it, natural age, changes in insulin handling, and this resistance to protein, the result is legs that slowly lose strength and steadiness without most people ever linking it to their fruit habit. If your legs feel heavy, shaky, or unusually tired after fruit, type balance in the comments, so I know this is making sense for you. You may wonder why some older folks eat fruit every day and still have strong legs and good balance. It's usually because they've found a way to eat it that avoids the problems, even if they don't know they're doing it. And that's the strategy I want to share with you now. Let me tell you about Margaret. She was 71, lived on her own, and took real pride in eating right. Every morning she'd make a big fruit salad, slices of banana, a heap of grapes, chunks of pineapple, and ripe mango. It made her feel good to start the day that way. But by early afternoon her legs would feel weak and wobbly. She'd avoid stairs, grab furniture to steady herself walking from room to room, and she started thinking maybe this was just what happened when you got older. When she came to see me, she sat across the desk, looking confused and a little upset. She said, "Dr. Kent, I don't get it. I eat so healthy, lots of fruit, fresh stuff. Why do my legs feel so heavy and tired every day?" We started using what I call the fruit protocol, which is really just a simple way to remember timing, pairing foods, and keeping portions sensible. We took out the very sweet fruits she was used to and switched to small amounts of berries and green apples, but always after she'd eaten some protein. It wasn't about giving up fruit. It was about doing it smarter. 3 weeks later, she came back with a big smile. Her legs felt stronger and more trustworthy. She could go upstairs without stopping halfway, walk farther without needing to rest, and she told me, "I feel like I can count on my legs again, like they're back on my team." We measured her progress. Her quadriceps strength went up 18%, her balance tests improved 22%, and her fatigue score dropped from 7 out of 10 to 3 out of 10. She got back so much of her daily freedom. Then there was Robert, 74 years old. He loved his morning routine of making a big smoothie. Banana, mango, orange juice, yogurt all blended up. It tasted great and felt like a healthy habit. But by mid-morning his legs would start giving out. He'd feel them weaken so much he had to sit down, even if he'd only done light chores. He figured it was just age taking over. We talked about it and made a few changes. We stopped the morning smoothie because it delivered too much sugar too fast first thing. Instead, we moved a small portion of fruit to after lunch, always with protein, and focused on berries with more fiber. 4 weeks later, he was thrilled. He could walk 30 minutes every day without stopping, climb stairs without leaning hard on the rail, and he said his leg energy felt about 60% better. Tests showed his muscle protein synthesis, the rate his body built muscle, had increased 25% from where it started. Margaret and Robert show the same important point. It's not fruit itself that's the problem. It's about choosing the right ones, eating them in the right amounts and at the right times. Now let me explain the fruit protocol I use with people every day. The letters help you remember the steps. F is for fruit pairing. Always eat your fruit with some protein or healthy fat. That combination slows down how fast the sugar gets into your blood and keeps your muscles safer from big insulin jumps. A study from the University of Sydney showed that eating berries with Greek yogurt cut the insulin spike after the meal by 50% compared to berries alone. Try a small handful of blueberries with about 10 almonds, or mix some strawberries into half a cup of cottage cheese. If you ate those same blueberries by themselves, they could cause enough insulin to get in the way of muscle repair over time. R is for right portion. Fruits today have more sugar packed in, so keep servings small. Half a cup of berries, 1 small apple, or 1 kiwi. Big bowls of fruit, especially in the morning, or smoothies loaded with fruit, can give your body way more sugar than it handles comfortably at our age. 1 reasonable serving a day usually gives you the vitamins you need without going overboard. U stands for understand timing. The best time for fruit is after you've eaten a meal with protein and fat, never first thing when your stomach is empty or right before other food. When fruit comes after other foods, blood sugar goes up much more gently, your energy doesn't crash later, and your legs stay protected. So skip the breakfast smoothie and have eggs with some veggies or toast with a little avocado instead. Save berries for an afternoon snack with nuts or yogurt. That simple change in when you eat fruit can make your legs feel lighter and more energetic for hours. I is for insulin awareness. Pay attention to what your body tells you after fruit. Maybe your legs get heavier, you get more cramps than usual, or fatigue hits sooner. Those are signs the sugar is affecting your muscles more than it should. Older adults who started noticing those feelings and then changed their timing or portions often saw their leg strength improve 18% faster over 4 weeks. T is for test and observe. Try a 2-week experiment. Take out the fruits that cause the most trouble: bananas, grapes, mango, pineapple, watermelon, any dried fruit like raisins, and all fruit juices. Switch to small amounts of berries, green apples, or kiwi, always with protein and after meals. During those 2 weeks, really watch how your legs feel, how strong they are when you stand, how steady when you walk, whether fatigue comes early or late, how confident you feel moving. This short test usually makes it clear why some seniors stay strong. They're naturally doing these things with timing, pairing, and portions. When you stick with the fruit protocol, things get better step by step. The first week, you might notice a little more energy and your legs feel lighter after eating instead of weighed down. By the second week, that tired feeling starts fading, and you feel surer taking short walks or moving around the house. In weeks 3 and 4, the changes get clearer. You climb stairs easier, stand longer without support, feel stronger overall. After 4 weeks and going forward, your leg strength holds steady or keeps getting better. Balance improves in everyday things, and you worry less about falling. This isn't about pushing yourself harder every day. It's about stopping the quiet thing that was wearing your muscles down. Before you try any of this, let's talk about being safe. The fruit protocol is a way to help your muscles through better food choices, but it's not a cure for sarcopenia or any medical condition. Don't stop any medicines your doctor prescribed without asking them first. If you have kidney disease, diabetes, or serious trouble with insulin, talk to your doctor before changing what you eat. Start slow. Pick one thing to change, get used to it, then add more. Keep listening to your body. If your legs feel heavier, you get cramps, or energy changes, that's your guide. Slow, careful steps help your body adjust without any trouble. Here's something I'd love for you to try. Choose one part of the fruit protocol, maybe pairing fruit with protein, changing when you eat it, keeping portions smaller, or just paying closer attention, and do that one thing every day for 30 days. When the month is up, come back here and leave a comment telling me what you did, your age, which fruits you changed, and how your legs felt differently. Your legs have supported you through so much of life. With these small, smart adjustments, you can help them feel strong and reliable again, so you can keep doing the things you love.